Ahoy! Welcome back to the channel. This is a video that I've wanted to do for a little while, but wasn't sure how to actually do it. But I just figured I'll just turn the camera on and do the damn thing.
Uncle Chunt'd.
So I just want to show off my controller collection, or at least the collection of controllers that I've gathered so far. It's not really a collection that I've been like, I must complete this collection, I must get everything of everything. It's not one of those kind of things that people out there do, where they're like, oh my god, that one has a different button on it, I must get it, even though I have the same thing 3 different times. These are controllers that I've just picked up over the years as I've just been gaming, or recently collecting stuff, or upgrading different versions of things. So I just thought, why not? Could be a bit of fun. So these are going to be in no particular order, so let's just get going. Righto, so here's a couple of old school ones to start off with. Now, I recently picked up, I say recently, but it's like within the last year or so, I picked up a Mega Drive again. I haven't had a Mega Drive in my life for over a decade or more. And a mate of mine, Matt, just happened to have one in a box. Hasn't been used since we were kids. And he was willing to part with it, so I gladly took it off his hands. The controller didn't work for it, but I found some stuff online where I can kind of possibly repair it. I think I figured out what the issue is. This guy here, it's the original one. So it's got the grey button, grey start button, and the colours around the D-pad. Now, as far as I know, this is probably the oldest one that I've seen. I'm pretty sure it comes with the Model 1 Mega Drive, which is the one I have, with the high definition labelling around the top of it. So the buttons don't quite work in this, but I've looked into it, and you can buy a repair pack for these controllers. So you can take it apart and swap out the pads underneath that receive the input. Now, I'm not sure that's going to do it, but it sounds like it will. As you can probably hear, it's a bit rattly, so I think there's some loose stuff in there, which kind of explains why it didn't work when I plugged it in. So I was a bit bummed, but he did me a solid, gave me a good deal, and threw in the games. I was just stoked to have a Mega Drive again. So what I did, I went online and I hunted around for a good while until I found a set of 2 controllers for a reasonably good price from what I could find online. So I think I've got 2 replacement ones. Now they're not quite matching with the console they're intended for. They're the 3-button, I'm pretty sure they're for the Mega Drive 2. That's where these this model controller comes from. So I got 2 of these. I mean, it does the same thing, it's just a different coloured start button, whatever, if you're really going to care about it too much. Part of me is really anal and is bugging me, which is partly the reason I want to repair the original one, because that's the one that he got with the console. So that leads me to believe it's the original controller with the original console, so I really want to fix it and make it work and use the actual original controller. But these controllers work just fine. They work so well, I'm surprised. Just after all these years, the ones that I managed to pick up are in such good condition. I just needed to wipe them over and clean them up a bit, but otherwise, really good nick. And it's still such a good controller. Like, it just feels so good. I've yet to pick up a 6-button controller. Now, I don't yet own a Mega Drive game that requires use of the 6-button controller, but there are some on my list that probably will. Some Mega Drive games on my list that will require the 6 buttons. So eventually I'm going to have to pick myself up one. Now, I don't want to go third party. I know there's a ton of third party options out there, but I want to get a legit OG one. And now with Retrobit bringing out remakes of all these Sega accessories, I might have a chance to pick up a new one. So I'll probably hold off, maybe, until then. Unless I find a really cheap 6-button controller on eBay, I'll just pick it up and hook into it. But God, it's such a good controller. Like, even after all these years. Yeah, there's no analog sticks and everything, but we didn't need that back then. Yeah, I love this controller. It's probably one of my faves. Oh, next random one I just grabbed out of the pile. This is probably one of my least preferred ones, and that's the Xbox Controller S model. I'm not entirely a big fan of this guy. my one's pretty ratted out. I got it. The Xbox I picked up was really cheap. I think it was like $50 with a controller and all its cables. And this was a controller it came with, and I had a ratty Duke with it. I'm going to replace the analog sticks with, and that'll look really, really good. But this one, I haven't bothered cleaning it up because I don't really like it. I never liked this controller when it came out. I understand its purpose. Natural reaction, I went for shoulder buttons. I understand its purpose and reason for being. However, it just wasn't... I don't know, I can't explain why I don't like it. It feels good, like it's a good controller to play with, but I think I was spoilt with the Duke, which I'll get to shortly. The D-pad was a vast improvement, I'll admit that. Overall it feels good, the buttons are good. There's just something after all these years, I can't explain why I don't like it. The only thing I can put it down to is that I was spoilt with the Duke controller, because I love that so much, the big ass thing. But yeah, so I don't know. I don't know if I'll do anything about this one, repairing the sticks, like replacing them, because they're chewed up by the looks. I don't know, the people that look after their consoles and give them in to like cash converters or Goodwill type places, I don't know if you can quite make it out, but you can see the analog sticks, they're chewed to hell. Like, I don't know if the kids are doing it or if they've got pets and dogs. It's just the amount of times you look on eBay, people selling their controllers, and the analog sticks are always munged. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe for collection's sake, I might go pick up a better controller S just to have it, and just replace this, or find some replacement sticks on eBay and unscrew this guy and replace them, which is probably the better, cheaper option, and probably the route I'll take. Just because I didn't really like this one too much. The good thing is, it comes with the extension release part at the end, which the amount of times you'll buy an Xbox controller, and I've been guilty of that, I've bought a couple of old Dukes. One of them didn't come with this detachable thing. These are so hard to find. So if anything, it's good that this guy came with this. I'm sure they're still compatible with the big guys. Anyway, yeah, so it's just another one. Oh, next one off the pile, very random. It's the Joy-Con controller for the Nintendo Switch. Yes. I barely play my Nintendo Switch undocked these days. So this is pretty much how I'm playing all my Switch games. Now, a lot of you out there are probably like, oh my fucking god, why don't you get yourself a Pro Controller? I don't need one. Like this one, I haven't used a Pro Controller, so I don't have a biased opinion. I don't know what I haven't used, but this is fine. Like, I've played all my Switch games with this on my TV or on my computer monitor a while ago when I first got my Switch. And I just don't feel the need of replacing it. Like, it does everything I need it to do. And I haven't played any kind of that intensive games that require anything better than this. It does its job, and I don't know, I guess it's cool. We're lucky that we got this out of the box as a controller itself. Really cool idea. I'm guilty. I will play Switch sometimes with the Joy-Cons just in each hand, just chilling. I played a lot of Zelda Breath of the Wild like that, but for the most part, yeah, I played it in this configuration. So to me, this is my Switch controller, so that's kind of why I'm including it in this. I don't know, let me know, like, all you guys out there, guys and girls that own a Switch, do you guys and girls play with this configuration? Or do you just prefer to play in handheld mode only? Or did you sucker out and pay it an extra $100 for a Pro Controller just for the sake? No flack on anybody that did buy the Pro Controller, I understand it. This isn't for everybody, and I know it's not perfect, but yeah, it does me just fine. Okay, so this next one is very strange. I've yet to have the pleasure to use it, because I don't own the game that this is used for, but this came in a lot when I bought the console this is for. It's not why I bought the lot, but it just happened to come with it. I don't know, I thought it was kind of nifty, but whatever. I will hopefully buy the game if I can find it cheap enough to use it. And that's the Dreamcast fishing rod. The Sega Bass Fishing Dreamcast rod, or whatever the hell you want to call it. Yeah, it is what it is. I mean, it has a joystick on there and all the buttons required. Start button, and you've got the this stupid thing. No trigger, but I guess you just hold it like this. Blah blah blah. I wonder, there are fishing levels in Sonic Adventure 1 where you play as Big the Cat and you do these fishing mini games. I wonder if you can use this in that mini game. I'll have to hook it up. I really haven't had much time with my Dreamcast since I bought it early last year. Just I've not had the real time to sit down and play it, but that's about to change in this game room. So yeah, hopefully I can find Sega Bass Fishing cheap somewhere. I don't want to pay a lot of money for it, just so I can give this a go. You know, I might do a gameplay series on it. Fishing, just chill. I don't know, I've seen these go for a pretty good price online, so, you know, worst case scenario, I'll just sell it and get rid of it, but I don't know, it's kind of cool. Yes, these two controllers, I'll put them out at the same time because they're pretty much essentially the same thing. Oh boy, so much gaming on these controllers, it's not funny. And wow, one of these thumbsticks are warped to hell. The Xbox 360 controllers. What a good controller. I can't believe how well they got this right. For a long time I felt this was like the perfect controller, and it still feels good even today. Good, I didn't leave batteries in that one, which I'll get to the other one in a minute. This was my second Xbox 360 controller. This is the one that actually came in the console that I bought, and this was player 2 essentially. God, that really does. It still feels good, man. Wow. It's really light. It's lighter than I remember it, but it's got no batteries in it, so whatever. But look, this one here. This one was my first Xbox 360 controller, and I know that because I put a Superman sticker on it back in the day. This was my first one before I even owned the console. I was in New Zealand before the Xbox 360 came out. A store I went to, I can't remember the store we were at. It might have been EB Games over there for all I know, or Big W. No idea where we were. This one feels heavier. It must have left batteries in it. Oh dear. We'll have a look. Yeah, so this controller came in a pack. It was like a controller game bundle. Like, had an official box and everything. It was bundled with Perfect Dark Zero, the controller, and something else. Oh, faceplate. Yeah, you remember Xbox 360 faceplates? I sure do. I don't have any now. But yeah, this is the first controller I ever owned, and man, was I super hyped for this 360. As a big original Xbox fan, I was really excited for the Xbox 360, and I just had to buy it while I was over there. I just had to have a piece. Like, I was that excited, and brought it back into Australia with me. And I had this sitting on my table, waiting and waiting for the launch of the 360, or until, you know, we could afford, or I could afford to buy one. I was really young at the stage when that console was coming out. But oh, I did leave batteries in it. Oh crap! Oh dear. Well, that's a bit of a bummer to discover. I think I've pretty much ruined one of the coils. This is what happens when you leave batteries in your controller compartment for years. And I haven't used this controller for so long. Yeah, far out. One of those is just rusted up. You can't really see it really well, but yeah, it probably gives you a better idea. Damn it. I'll see if I can clean that up. It's probably a lost cause, but shit. Whatever. I played so many rounds of Superman Returns on this controller, and just plenty of other games, Gears of War and stuff. Like, even the thumbsticks, oh, you can't really make it out too well, but especially the one up here, it's just warped to hell. So much abuse. Yeah, what a good controller, man. Very nostalgic for this. Set so many standards. Xbox 360 was such a good controller. Game console overall. Sorry, I lost my thought. Anyway, so yeah, two of those. Probably only one of them works now. Well, we'll go back in time a bit again. This one here, it's quite a bizarre controller by modern day standards and probably at the time. It doesn't feel too bad even today with a modern touch. But yeah, very odd indeed. And that is the Dreamcast controller. I do like this controller for various reasons. I'm a big fan of what's going on back here with the VMU. I managed to get 2 of those. This isn't the same lot. I managed to get 2 of those with the cap and a rumble pack. Pretty sure it's in the box still. Very, very unusual to play when I did get a chance to play it. I never really played a Dreamcast when it was live, when it was a common at the time current thing. I remember going into a Telstra shop and they had it set up to the internet. I remember just being like enamored by this console. I was still very young. I was too young to work, so I couldn't earn my own money. It was too expensive. But I remember being in the Telstra shop and there was a keyboard on it and it was on the internet and there was Sonic stuff around it and I was like, oh god, being a Mega Drive kid, I wanted to be all over this, but it just never happened. I never got to play a Dreamcast until last year, when I managed to find a bundle for a relatively good price. And yeah, I'm keen to finally set it up and actually play the damn thing. I've got Sonic Adventure 1 and 2 and Shenmue, and I've barely touched any of it. And so I'm very keen to get into it. I have a good bundle. It has 2 VMUs, a rumble pack, very good condition, no yellowing from what I've noticed anyway. And it is a good controller. Like, suffice to say, it is uncomfortable in some aspects. Like, I guess we're just trained with these very expensively refined R&D generated controllers that we have these days, but I do like this. I did notice it gets a bit uncomfortable after a long time to play, just around this kind of area, and the lack of a second analog stick, I think, really killed this controller for a lot of people, because we'd already been through the PS1 and it had 2 analog sticks eventually, and to go without one was very strange at the time, but live and learn. Yeah, I don't know. There's something very nostalgic, even though I didn't experience and live with the Dreamcast at the time. There's something very nostalgic about this controller, and it's still up in probably one of my top 5 controllers, maybe top 3, because I just really like the concept and the VMU and the rumble pack. I love all those additions. Like, I know it's bullshit by today's standards. Like, if a controller came out now that had all these add-on options, it would be torn apart. You couldn't get away with it in today's world. You'd have to it should be all inbuilt, blah blah blah. But yeah, not back then. Yeah, Dreamcast controller, very cool. We are nearing the end of these controller show-off items and stuff. These are 2 more Xbox 360 controllers. Man, oh man, wow, this one's barely been used. This must have been my spare player 2. Let's put that over here. This one here got flogged so much. I played endless hours of Gears of War 3 on this thing. It's still in not bad condition. I've dropped it enough times where it has a couple of scuff. Oh no, it doesn't. I'm pretty sure I remember seeing a couple of scuff marks on this one. But yeah, it's still good. Oh please. Yay, no batteries left in that one. I really loved this console that it came with. It's such an awesome design. I couldn't believe it. I had to have it. I just couldn't believe it. And this whole, you could swap out the configuration of the D-pad just with a twist. So it became like more recess, shallow, or more rolly around the thumb, or a traditional tactile kind of D-pad. Very, very good. Like even the thumbsticks on this are so smoothed over because I played it so much. But even the design of it, it's just so friggin' badass. Just Gears of War, man. Like, I love it. God, did I play so much on this. Yeah, I love it. Love both of them. Sticking with the Gears of War theme, here's 2 more. With the Xbox One variation. So, ooh, it's turned on. So So that comes with the console. So I got the collector's edition for Gears of War 4, the console. God, it's sexy as hell. I love it. Again, I just had to have it. This one's fared better. Like, even the thumbsticks, I've used this for every game I've played, essentially, on the Xbox. This is my main controller, and the thumbsticks aren't showing any kind of sign of wear. Like, God, the engineering quality of these Xbox One controllers are just fantastic. Like, it is easily, in my opinion, the best or perfectly made controller. Like, it's just refined to hell. It's such a good controller. There's nothing wrong with it. It just falls into your hand. You can sit there for hours and it doesn't cramp. I don't know. God, they did such a good job. I do not like the PS4 controller. It's uncomfortable and unco. I just don't like it. This is just bang on. To the point where some third-party manufacturers are making PS4 controllers in this configuration. Just, I don't know. Anyway, so I'm showing off this one. This is such a neat one. I've barely used this. I think this has only been, whoa, nearly dropped it. I've never used it, but it has been used a couple times for player 2 purposes. It's a really nice looking controller. JD Phoenix theme. So that's just the normal, like, you know, your traditional kind of infected kind of omen style for Gears of War 4. And that's JD Phoenix. Very awesome looking controller. I should actually use that more often. It's quite sexy. I like it. So yeah, probably I'm so partial to all these controllers, but these are stupidly good, man. I'm very lucky. Sticking with the Xbox theme, you can see a common occurrence here. Xbox is my main game console, so surprise, surprise, most of these controllers are Xbox related, but this guy, it's been with me since day one. The day one edition controller for the Xbox One, the big ass original Xbox One that was released. I didn't mind the original design too much. I thought it was very imposing and sleek, and it looked like it was going to take over your living room, and I was okay with that. I mean, I still love the size of the original Xbox. I'm not one to kind of complain about the size of the Xbox One. And yes, I love the Kinect. I made a Kinect video professing my love to it recently, saying goodbye. But yeah, this controller is still good. They definitely made some changes to the new Controller S models that came out. But this, I have to have this as a special part of my shelf just because it's the day one controller. Yeah, I remember I was there at Xbox One launch day, midnight launch, if I can get it out right. I have a video on my channel of being there for midnight launch in Rockhampton. So, I don't know, I have a very fond memory of the Xbox One when it came out. I was very excited, new technology, just really new, brand new. Had a lot of stuff going on in my life at the time then. I traded in the original console towards, I think, yeah, with the Kinect, towards the Gears of War 4 edition. Or something like that, or towards the Elite version of the console, I can't remember. But I remember trading it in with the Kinect and all that, but I kept this controller for a memento sake, for obvious reasons. So yeah, that'll be a special place on my shelf eventually. Oh, please tell me there's no batteries in here. Good. I'm paranoid now since that other controller. For those of you that know me, have probably noticed there's a significant lack of a particular controller that I haven't yet shown. And that is the big boy. The Duke. Holy crap, do I love this guy. I thought I had 4 of them, but I actually only have 3. One of them needs replacement sticks really bad. Otherwise, they're all in pretty good condition. I can't stress enough how much I really like this controller. Like, I have fairly good sized hands, man. Like, it fits in my hands really well. And I remember it doing so when I was younger. I remember just being like, holy crap, this is huge, but it just felt so right. And playing Halo with this controller there is just something very overly nostalgic about playing Halo 1 with this controller. Now, for those of you that don't know, Hyperkin and Seamus Blackley, who was the godfather of this controller in the original Xbox, have recently been approved to finally move ahead in production with the remake of this controller. So, I am ecstatic. I will be getting one of those controllers, if not two of them, just for posterity's sake. And I can't wait to play through Halo again on the Xbox One with the new Duke. And it has, like, it'll have the shoulder like bumper buttons up here, which they weren't originally on this controller. They were the white and black buttons you can see up top there. And I do like the more oval shaped buttons. Like when you put your thumb on it, you have access to all the buttons right there without barely moving. You know, you just roll your thumb around, and you don't have to reach too far for the black and white buttons up there. I just this receives so much hate. I can understand why, but I refuse to accept the hate. It's one of those things where how can I love something so much and so many people not? You know, I'm just ecstatic that they're bringing this back. I can't wait. I'll probably main the remake Duke controller. I'll probably main that as my controller that I play most of my games with. Unfortunately, it's not wireless. It will be USB cable, like removable. It'll have a detachable USB cable, but it'll be compatible with you know, Windows PCs, USB type connectivity and all that. And this Dual will be replaced by an OLED screen, and it'll display the actual original Xbox startup when you power on the console or turn the controller on, whatever. So it's going to be very cool. This is all going to be filled in. There's no slots for memory cards or the Xbox Live microphone or anything like that. But yeah, just amazing that this even existed. Like, something like this shouldn't have been made, and they've said as much. Like, the way this controller happened shouldn't have happened, but it did. But I'm so glad it did, because it's just such an oddity. I love this thing, man. Like, I can't wait to get my original Xbox hooked up in here and start playing some of these old Xbox games. So I'm just going to hang on to this guy as I do the out part of the video. That's my controllers, all of them. I'm pretty sure I haven't missed one. Let me know what you thought of these controllers, or which one do you like the most. Are any of these your favourite at all? Do you think I'm an absolute nutcase for loving this Duke so much? So thanks for watching, guys. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you on the next video. Toodaloos.
Uncle Chunt'd.
Thanks for watching this video, I really appreciate it. If you haven't already, please subscribe and check out some of my other recent videos. Have a good one.